the point.
Let's kick some things off here with running the point. Let's start with number 5.
Number 5.
Maximum salary, minimum production. $30 million a year. And I think everybody over the last couple of games, we've had enough. And I understand this could be coaching. I understand people could say, well, Rick Carlisle needs to utilize him better within the offensive scheme. But whenever I saw Kristaps Porzingis catch the ball last night, it was like a hot pocket. Give it right back to Luka. Give it right back to Tim Hardaway Jr. Do you remember when this trade happened? A lot of people said, Tim Hardaway Jr., he's the throw-in package. Oh, well, it's kind of feeling like Porzingis was the throw-in part of the package here. I mean, he's had single digits in playoff games. And I said at halftime, I said, hey, look, I understand Luka is the star of this team, but the highest paid player needs to show up in Game 7. He did not do that. Porzingis, you will have marital issues within Dallas. I do not think he will be a Dallas Maverick for that much longer.
Really?
I just wonder what trade assets they can find in return from somebody.
Gave up 2 firsts.
I know.
2 firsts for
Injury
him.
issues,
By the way,
ankle, knee, a lot of questions around Porzingis.
10 shot attempts per game in the 7-game series. Only 10. Tim Hardaway Jr. averaged 17 a game on 14 shot attempts. Is it that for Porzingis, it's not easy to play with Luka?
We won't get into rebounding issues, too. I mean, there's some, 3 rebounds, 4 rebounds some games?
5 a game, but yes. How about 0? How about under 1 block a game? This was a guy that the reason why Kevin Durant called him a unicorn was because he averaged not only, 20 points a game, not only shot over, a high percentage from 3-point range, but he also averaged over a block a game. Which is why KD said, this guy's a unicorn. He's doing things that you've never seen before in the league. Well, he's not doing it in Dallas.
Maybe he's still hurt from the past, man. Maybe he just
his mobility defensively is shot.
Yeah, maybe he's not fully healthy like that anymore.
Yeah. How do the Knicks fans feel now? Feeling pretty good about it now?
That second first-round pick right now.
Feeling good about it now.
Number 19, number
There
21.
you go. Bring it back.
Maybe they knew something.
Okay.
I still hate the trade, though.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Next wave. We're witnessing it, my friends. And we haven't talked about it yet, and I'll get into it. But names like Trae Young, put it on the show. Names like Donovan Mitchell, show. Devin Booker, show. Michael Porter Jr., a guy that would have been the first pick in the draft if he didn't go through injuries, starting to put on a show with guys like Jokic in Denver. He asked for it a couple of years ago. Remember when Jamal Murray was doing his thing? He was like, look, I like to get the ball. He's been getting the ball, been averaging like 20 points, been put on a show. This is the next wave of the NBA. So as much as people say we don't have Steph, we don't have LeBron, we don't have we still have some names like Kawhi Leonard, KD, James Harden, Kyrie in the playoffs, but this next wave is coming in a really big way.
Time to get to know some new faces.
Yes, get to know their stories. Number 3.
Number 3.
Dame time to recruit. Now, I originally had this in Dame time for a new coach. Damn time for a new coach. Dame time for a new coach. I think a guy, Chauncey Billups, will get this job. But this is not going to be the biggest move that the Portland Trailblazers franchise is going to need to make. The LeBron James model is out, guys. It's time. We are no longer in a world where best players in the world are saying, I want to go play with Dame. We're in a world now where if you're going to be the best player in the team, you need to go recruit guys who you want to rock with. Dame needs to be in the DMs. I don't care what anybody needs to say. Star players are the ones who can dictate where they want to be. You don't hear a star player say, "Well, I want to go play with Monty Williams as a head coach." No. You hear a star player say, "I want to go rock with Devin Booker." You know why? Devin Booker and I have been connecting. I've been spending time with Devin Booker in all season. We've been working out together. Damn, I ride with the way Devin Booker rocks. Okay, great.
Now we pick our coach.
It's the same for Dame. I understand we used to live in a world where it's like, who wants to rock out with me? That was that whole male egocentric, I'm the guy, I'm the alpha. Who's going to come with me? Now it's like, no. Who can I connect with? It's time for Dame to start recruiting if he wants to stay in Portland. Because if he doesn't start recruiting, then Portland's not going to be answered for your Dame. You're going to need to go somewhere else.
There's a belief he's going somewhere else.
He already started recruiting. He got turned down.
Yeah, Jay Kidd.
He already started the recruiting process.
You got to start that yesterday.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Got to double, triple down. That's number 3. Number 2.
Number 2.
Playoff Glenn.
What? Who?
Playoff Glenn. Or Doc.
Oh, no.
This is a legit question. And I had it yesterday when we were watching the opening minutes of the Hawks 76ers game. I saw Danny Green on Trae Young. And all I talked about leading up to the game was, okay, you have a guy like Ben Simmons who's up for Defensive Player of the Year. He's a finalist. You have a guy like Matisse Thybulle, 6'5", 6'11" wingspan. Your best defenders. They need to start on Trae. Because if Trae gets going, that's going to be a problem for you. I saw Danny Green start on Trae. And then brought me back to, I'm like, oh, I think Doc did this before. When they were up 3-1 with the Clippers, and he left Montrezl Harrell on Nikola Jokic. And Jokic just started abusing him, and Doc doubled, tripled down, stayed with Trez on Jokic. And I'm watching the same mistake, and I watched Trae annihilate them. And then I watched Kevin Huerter. I watched Bogdanovic, them shoot threes. Now, granted, 76ers got back in the ball game, but Doc, we need to see changes in game 2. And I got nothing but love and respect for Danny Green. He problem.
Did they underestimate Trae Young? Even watching the film of the Knicks, did they think, man, we got it, right? And they thought maybe he can handle it, we'll help out, and it just failed miserably until the end, when all they started doing was trapping him, and he turned the ball over a ton late and almost gave the game away.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, towards the end, when you have, Matisse Thybulle on him, or we have Ben Simmons on that size and that length,
Bigger.
you can play off of him.
Right.
You can contest his shot later. And then when it comes off ball screens, all right, force Bogdanovic to beat us. Force Kevin Huerter to beat us. Force him to be 2-point scores.
By the time you contest, the ball's in the air and gone, though. That's the problem.
I hear you, but my problem is when you have Danny Green on him, like, you know how this key, like when you get a rhythm, when you get a flow to the game, now by the time you try to put Matisse Thybulle on him later in the first quarter, I'm already cooking.
Plus, what's more important for you on the offensive end is to use that energy of Ben Simmons up, so when we get on the offensive end, he ain't got nothing left. I mean, is that?
Yeah, but I mean, I want Ben Simmons running, pushing, attacking. I want Ben Simmons. This is why you were here. This is why you were here. You're a great defensive player, and you're a PG first mentality. Go guard their team's best player. I don't know why Doc didn't do that.
Yeah, the thing about Ben Simmons that's strange in some of these games that we're seeing in the postseason. Regular season, he's just an impactful player, but in the postseason, you're always waiting for him to do something, right? And he's not a scorer, so because he's not that kind of scorer,
that's why you're here.
Sort of like, well, where are you impacting the game? And I've seen him impact the game defensively at an elite level, but in this game, it didn't happen until the fourth quarter. Well,
yeah, he's an attacker. He's a driver.
He's an attacker. Yeah. But it's just you just didn't see him impact the game until the fourth quarter. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there he is. But, Jay, can they play that way?
Yes.
48. Are you kidding? Really?
Yes. Right. They're going to have to. They're not going to have a choice.
You got one more, so go ahead.
All right.
Number 1.
Number 1. Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move the list, but a bunch of gibberish, and everybody forgot about Trae.
Bars. Okay.
Forgot about Trae.
Okay.
I want to go back to this whole big thing that we had on draft night where Travis Link, I'm sitting here saying, if I'm Atlanta, I'm cool. I am great.
Yeah.
Because I built the right team around Trae Young. I haven't seen Dallas build the right team around Luka. So I give Travis Link a lot of credit for the Hawks because they surrounded him with pieces like Bogdanovic, which was a huge missing link because the Bucks originally had Bogdanovic.
And they blew it. Now the Hawks do. The Hawks have Jonathan Collins. Huge, right? Caught more lobs and made more threes. There's only 2 other players that have probably made more in the past 25 years, right? The pieces that they have around Trae with the way he's playing, with having Nate McMillan. And I'll tell you this, because the story this year before was that Trae was a volume shooter. And that was a lot of issues that they had between Trae and Lloyd Pierce, their head coach. They let go of Lloyd Pierce. They got Nate McMillan, a guy who actually Trae listens to. You can tell by the attention that he gives him in timeouts. And it's unlocked Trae to a different degree. So when you want to go back to this debate, throw it out the window because I don't care. Because what I'm watching the Hawks do right now, they built the right team around Trae Young. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. A coach in the front office saying, here's my star player, and here's how I'm going to maximize my star player with the right pieces around him. And we have not seen that yet in Dallas. Drop the mic on this argument.
But I would think that when you look at it, though, from a building standpoint, sometimes you get star players like Luka, and because he's a star, you don't think that you have to build around him at the level that you have to build around Trae. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Trae is one thing. So you look at that and you go, well, he can't carry us. We need to put other pieces around him. Well, you got Luka, and you look there and you say, okay, Porzingis is here. What else do we got? Luka's a big enough star player that he'll be able to push us up we look at him like a LeBron James. We look at him
High tide raises
like
all boats. Yeah.
Huh?
High tide raises all boats.
Yeah,
Right,
that's kind of what. So what if Luka was in Atlanta? Do Atlanta build it around him the same, or is he in the same situation that he is in Dallas, where they're not building around him? And Dallas builds around Trey because he's there.
Can I make it clear? You're taking Luka 10 times out of 10. Always, right?
Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
But Atlanta does not have to regret the trade
No.
if you build it properly. You
Yes.
still have a talented player,
Yes.
and you built it better than Dallas did around Luka. Let's be honest. You did a better job building that team around what you have. It's never about, okay, the trade was made, and you can look back and think, all right, you didn't get the better player, but we have the better situation.
LeBron James, Luka, young, right? People
Similar, yes.
Think about LeBron early in his career. Cleveland didn't have knees and U's
just-
out there playing.
yeah.
Oh, I get it.
So,
Yeah.
so that speaks to my point. Is he's such a alpha dog that it's kind of like they believe that he can take them to the next step without putting all this stuff around him. Now, I'm sure this offseason they're going to wind up doing some stuff to maybe get him one or two players that could go along with him to help him finish the deal.
It is, again, that is going to be a debate for a while between those two, but one is playing and one is done playing right now in the playoffs.
That's always
Keyshawn Jay
feels
Williams
good.
Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. You can save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit progressive.com. So Julio goes from one Ryan to another. We'll discuss that after SportsCenter.
Here's Leonard with it against Porzingis. Explodes to his right, now pulls back beyond the arc. Finds Morris open. Corner three on its way. It's good with a minute 15 to go. On an afternoon, the Clippers finally found their three-point shot. Two big hits in the last 2 minutes to take the lead by 13.
Clippers certainly found something. Mark Kessler with the call on ESPN.